Hi everybody, today I'm going to be doing more of a teaching style video, so this is going to be a little bit longer than the other ones. But essentially today what I wanted to talk about is how to explain to people in your life what has actually been going on with you and what you've been living versus what they've been seeing. Sometimes this can be one of the hardest reasons why we don't leave a narcissist is because everybody around us always tells us what a great person they are and that they're so happy for us and things like that. And so it can be difficult to kind of shatter their perception and to speak in such a way that it allows them to absorb the information that we are giving them, even though it's a stark contrast to what they are believing that we are experiencing and living. It can also be overwhelming, especially when you're bringing up things such as gaslighting, which it sounds so crazy that people just don't even know how that's possible. And I want to just give you some tips to broach these kind of topics and ways that you can explain it to people so that they understand and that it's relatable to them. So before you go to speak with somebody about your situation, it's really important that you assess how they handle conflict or stress in general in their life, because if they brush it off easily, if they are overly aggressive, if they are avoidant, you want to know how they respond to conflict and how they respond to adversity in general, because we often expect them to react differently because it's us. Maybe you're their child, or you're a parent, or you're in a close relationship with somebody and you want them to be on your side and you think that they're going to be on your side no matter what. But it's really important that you take an honest assessment of how they approach conflict, how they approach paradigms that are contrary to their own world before you go in to speak with them. If they're calm and they're great listeners, you can expect them to behave that way. But honestly, if they've always reacted defensively and asked a million questions and kind of taken it upon themselves to be investigators and things like that, you need to just be cognizant of your audience. Know your audience, know who you're speaking to, and honestly expect them to react that way to your information. Even if you're extremely close to them, it's important to know the automatic responses that they've built up in themselves and the most likely situation that they're going to react that way. You don't go into a situation believing that you're going to have the full support of this person when in reality they don't behave that way. They don't easily accept information that's contrary to their own belief system or something like that. So it's really important for your own sanity, for your own peace of mind, to understand that person that you're going to be talking to. The other thing to note is that, as I've said before in some of my other videos, people who are in a relationship with a narcissist, romantic or a friendship, or even one with a boss, they do so because they were usually around a narcissist growing up. Maybe they were raised by him, or somebody in their extended family was a narcissist that they saw a lot. And they are seeking these kinds of people. Like I said in I think one of my videos, I've said, like, you are looking for the same type of spirit. It's just coming to you in a different body. So if you are going to be speaking with this person may have narcissistic tendencies themselves, and addressing these things with them is going to be extremely uncomfortable and likely unproductive. And it's really important that you understand that before you say things that may trigger them to become aggressive, if they have that kind of tendency, or how to sit down with the person. Maybe it's best to approach them with a group of people. Either way, it's just important to understand who you're talking to and know how they usually respond to tension and to conflict. Again, as I've mentioned in some of my previous videos, documenting and keeping track of behaviors while you're in a relationship with a narcissist of any kind, it can be very, very helpful, not only for your own self and your recovery and your own sanity. But if you are going to be in a court situation with a narcissist, if you are going to be speaking with somebody who just doesn't understand how this can be happening, like they might have examples of, how about this day, when we were at such and such an event. It's important for these reasons too that you keep track of things that are happening, because you'll have a list, a specific list, if you feel comfortable sharing it with them, of things that were happening, rather than just having a whole bunch of generalizations, such as, he would marginalize the way that I thought, he would marginalize my opinions, he never let me, he was extremely controlling. These are very general things that are not good descriptions to somebody who it really needs the details to understand what's happening. These people may not have bad intentions. They want to help you. They just don't understand how, and they're really trying to understand. And so sometimes before you go to sit down with somebody to discuss your situation, you might want to have a list of specifics that you can go over with them. Narcissistic abuse can get so bad that the person on the other side of the relationship can be driven to the brink of madness. And it is really important to understand that this is, unfortunately, a normal side effect of being in a relationship with a narcissist. And so the narcissist can remain calm and collected. He's over there like, see, she's crazy, just like I said, where behind the scenes they're doing gaslighting and a whole bunch of other very manipulative tactics. And so when this is happening, it's easy for people to say, like, look, he's right, she is crazy, look at how she's behaving. And even though those behaviors you would never do apart from being in a relationship or being around that narcissist, you're still behaving exactly how he described you to be. And so there's nothing outside of God's redemption. I just want to say that first. But we also just need to be able to objectively look at our own behavior and be able to account for it. It's not looking at it as, but he said this and he was doing that, and so then I did this. We are accountable for our own actions outside of what other people are doing. And this is definitely not a victim shaming or a victim blaming kind of a message, but in order to heal, you have to understand where you have also made mistakes, where you've gone wrong, and you can make better decisions then in the future once you recognize those things. In my own life, this was true, right? My people around me who love me were like, you're behaving so crazy, we just don't know what to think. In my situation, I had a child who was dying and I was trying to get her the best help, but it was really difficult because I was dealing with somebody who was so manipulative and who had just rigged a whole bunch of people into getting onto his side. And I had 3 different hospitals diagnose my daughter and agree with me that she needed specialized treatment. And in the end, all 3 hospitals, after dealing with this narcissist, just didn't want anything to do with it. It can be extremely damaging, not just to your own sanity and your own life, but truly this affects the health of people. And so this is why I'm so passionate about bringing awareness to this, because it can be deadly. So also I say all of that to say, think about what the person you are going to be sitting down with has seen. Think about it from their perspective. How have they seen you behaving? How have they seen the other person, the narcissist, behaving? And that way you can kind of give them a full picture of what has been happening, instead of just saying this person was doing this and this person was doing that. You can really explain to them what was happening and why you were behaving the way that you were, because these people often love you, but they are seeing you in this totally different light, especially when there's a high conflict situation. So being able to explain the fullness of it is going to get you your best result and the best support that you can get from people who are witnessing what's happening. Never shy away from the fact that you were living a lie. A lot of people who are in narcissistic relationships want to live in the world that this narcissist is creating. They want everything to be okay. A narcissist is a great liar, a great manipulator, and they paint the picture of this amazing life, and everybody wants to live an amazing life. And some of us have gotten pulled into like creating this facade. And so it's really important that you explain to people like, none of that was true. And you can't hold on to a lie. You empower what you hide. So if you want to truly break free from something, you can't just continue to think everything is okay and do the same habits. Even if the rest of your family, even if all of your friends, they're doing the same kind of patterns and falling into the same behaviors, you need to say, this is not going to work for me. And I don't care what you think if I come forth and I speak my truth, because I know that this is the way that I get free. This is the way that other people get free. This is the way that I establish something new for my family. So it's really important to explain the depth of the lie in, as much as you can, because by default, everybody around you was also living a lie. They were looking at your life, assuming it was one way, and now they're finding out everything that they thought was a complete lie. And that can be really hard to take in one sitting. So just make sure that the person that you're speaking with understands that they too fell prey to the narcissistic act. They too didn't detect these things. And, that they can now have the choice as well as you to move forward or to do something different. If you're breaking up with a narcissist, if you're going through a divorce or have any kind of romantic relationship with a narcissist, this is not a normal breakup. I think a lot of times people just assume like, get over it, who cares? It's a breakup. But this is not a normal breakup where you can just get over it, because again, a narcissist will always attack your identity. They'll tear away the things that you have been and that you have always seen yourself being, and you'll have to rebuild a lot of these levels. Your passions, your joys, all of those things have to be rebuilt. So this is really important for you to recognize. But also, if you're going to somebody and you're sitting them down because you want support, then you can detail to them better, this is how I need you to help me find and reconnect with who I used to be. Can you remember who I was before I was in this relationship? And can you help me find some of the activities that used to really bring out my fullness and things like that? So this is important to recognize to yourself, but also to the people that you're going to be sitting down with, that it's not a normal breakup and that you might need extra support versus, somebody who is going through your standard breakup or non-contentious divorce. Also express that your recovery may take time and that you need them to be patient with you. You need their support, and let them know specifically, again, how that looks to you. Does it mean that they just check in with you every day and say, that I'm thinking about you and you're on my mind? Or do you want to do something like, can we meet up for dinner or for coffee every week? Tell them specifically what you need. Sometimes people want to help you, they just have no idea how to do it. So it's really important if you can say specifically, I need you to do this for me. I need you to be this for me. And more people than not want to do it. They just don't know what it is. So if you can tell them, and not just expect them. We have a lot of unhealthy and unrealistic expectations of people, and that causes a lot of our own sadness, our own disappointments in life. But if you can actually sit down with somebody and say, this is what support looks like to me, this is what being patient with me looks like right now, that would be great to kind of give them a roadmap to how to be that to you. You can also check out if there's any support groups in your areas specifically for people who have gone through some sort of abuse. They usually have resources for family members and for friends who have been there for you, who want to be there for you, and it teaches them how to broach the subject, how to be there with you while you rebuild your life. So that would be another resource. I have a list of resources that you can get for free on my website. It's listed in the comments of this video. Just go there and download. Click on the button that says resource and it'll download as a PDF. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that I got through everything. There's also a book that I recommend to people. It's called Psychopath Free. It's written by Jackson Mackenzie, and it's written from a survivor's perspective. And she really sheds light on what it's like to live one life at home and one life outside of the home. And so this is a great book for anybody who's been in a relationship with a narcissist, but it's also great if your family members or your friends are open to it, that they read this book, because it would really gives them a great insight into what it's like living this kind of double life. And the last thing I want to say here is that society is prone to victim blaming, and your loved ones may feel immense guilt and shame that they didn't see it sooner, that they didn't step in to help you sooner, that you've been going through all of this stuff alone. And maybe it's because they even helped the narcissist, they sided with the narcissist, they've defended him or whatever. And so I'm going to be talking about more on these kinds of subjects in my mentorship class, but I do believe it's really important that we learn from the past and we use them as building blocks for our future. You know, you're going to have to learn how to set up boundaries. You're going to have to learn how to develop healthy relationships with people again, and that will provide you the network that you need, the structure that you need to ensure that you don't keep making the same mistakes, that you don't keep getting into relationships, friendships, and other situations where you're constantly around narcissists. So we've got to learn how to set up boundaries and create healthy communities. And that is basically all that I have to say for this video. I have 2 more videos coming out in this series, so check back tomorrow for the next one. Thank you guys so much.